we are now going to head to West Texas and the Chihuahuan Desert Nature Center with Lisa Gorden.
Hello. Um, our Nature Center and Botanical Gardens are a nonprofit organization, and we're located in far West Texas, very close to the Big Bend National Park. And the organization has been in existence actually for 52 years now. We have 5 employees. 4 of those are full-time, and we rely a lot on volunteers helping us get things done. Um, our site is on 507 acres, and most of that is the Nature Center. The Nature Center site has hiking trails that are gorgeous. And then we have 18 acres dedicated to the botanical gardens. And the gardens are surrounded by a game fence, has a beautiful entrance gate too. But the game fence is there to keep the wildlife out. And people always ask us, like, what kind of wildlife? We have mule deer, elk. Lately, we've had lots of elk here. The javelina, which are also collared peccary, and an aoudad. And those are Barbary sheep that were imported way back in the 50s from North Africa. So they would all like to get into the garden and eat up all the plants. So that's the reason for the fence. Inside the garden, we have several different paths that we'll tell you about along the way. But because we're in rural West Texas and we don't get out very often to see some of the larger gardens, I do keep up with those online with what the larger, more established gardens are doing. And so I wanted to be up and running with them. And part of my New Year's resolution was that we were going to take our old scattered records that were on Excel spreadsheets, and some are on they're all handwritten from the early days, and get this documented so that we had a real accessioned collection in a database that we could be proud of and that other people could access. So we started out looking and shopping. And when we talked to Hortis, we were happy with what you all could offer. One of our volunteers, Jim Fissel, who's had a big hand in this, he's a retired user interface designer. And he he helped us get started. He's done the whole program. And during the trial demo period, he started out at the front gate and just started documenting the first plant he saw and walking along the plant, documenting the plants, photographing them. And within less than a week, he had 100 plants documented, species already documented, and just came back to me and said, this is the program we need. So that's how we landed on Hortis and stuck with that. Right now, we have 394 sessions and 754 materials documented. And so that covers our main garden. Inside the garden, we have the main garden path, the pollinator garden, grasses exhibit, the cactus garden, and then we also have a visitor center, and we've documented the plants around that too. We still have yet to go, and well, let me back up. We had planned for this to be a 2-year project. And so we started in about March of 2025. And here we are in December, and we've got this number already documented. What we have yet to do, which is we've saved for the winter, is our cactus greenhouse collection. And it's one of the world's largest collections of Chihuahuan desert cacti with over 200 species and about 2,000 individual plants there. So we're getting started on that. And so we're excited.
It's remarkable how I remember when we went to the American Public Garden Association conference in June, I think, and somebody mentioned your public site that you already got online after 3 months, and it was such a. I don't think we've seen anybody coming that quickly out of the box from nothing to having something to share with visitors. So that's fantastic. How quickly you did it, and how how wonderful the site is as well with a number of plants or photos you managed to capture and everything else. So yeah, kudos to you. That's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
And also uh, the you say now you're going to work on the enrichment and obviously all seasons, taking pictures. I don't know enough about cacti flowering times and stuff like that, but I suppose you need to keep an eye on things to get everything documented.
We do, and you know, the cacti, it's interesting. The ones that are in the greenhouse can only survive in the greenhouse because we actually have cold winters here. And the cactus are from all parts, mostly in Mexico, because the Chihuahuan Desert is mostly in Mexico. We're in the very northeastern portion of the Chihuahuan Desert. So they grow in different environments, different biomes. And so everything's inside the greenhouse, which is different than the cacti that would bloom outside. But if anyone wants to see them, and they're very best, it's the end of February and all through March. And we'll have rows and rows and rows of tables full of cacti blooming. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I can
Really
imagine.
big.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, little bitty ones this big that'll have a flower, 5 times their size of the plant, on top of it.
Yeah, now coming from northern Norway, when we hear or North Europe, you sort of hear about deserts, and you think that's an oxymoron. The desert and the garden, it doesn't make sense. But no, I had the privilege of not of seeing the Desert Botanic Garden in Arizona, and it was a revelation. And I'm sure this, I mean, the photos you also have on the blog are just very, very inspiring, magical. Yeah.
Thank you. I think something unique about this site, and I didn't mention it earlier, we're in the desert, but we're at 5,000 feet, which is about a mile high. And the rest of the desert is down below us. So in these little areas where we're higher elevation, it's called sky islands. And so we're in a different biome where we have some areas that have pine trees, other areas that have cacti, some places where they grow together. The immediate area where our center is mostly grasslands. And so we have all that included in the garden. It starts out as if you were at lower elevation going to higher elevation. So the vegetation changes all through the garden path. So it was really quite a challenge documenting this when we were going through and taking all these pictures. What we want to do is include what they look like in the summertime when they're green and flowering, because almost everything in the garden, trees, shrubs, everything has flowers on it. And then also what it looks like in the wintertime, the fall and the winter.
Yeah, yeah, it's really, really magical. And this is just, as I said before, that it's the first garden I've seen who have my namesake oak and agave. So
It
anyway,
is.
it's really,
I
yeah,
am so glad to have that connection also.
yeah. Shame I wasn't the one discovering them, but anyway, there we go. Uh, Anyway, we'll look forward to seeing the documentation keep on moving forward and with your cacti collection, the indoor one, etc., etc. And it's a great honor and pleasure to have you or have you on as part of the community and see how effectively you've managed to adopt the platform and share it with visitors, etc. By the last question I have you had any conversations with the volunteers or maybe members or the public about the site and have you heard anything from them about this and how they engage with it?
We have, and I neglected before also to mention we have one head gardener, and she also helped with recording all this data, and then also her assistant. So we had more, just those helpers. But yes, when we have visitors here, we have our QR code at the front desk. We also have decals on the windows with the QR code. And we made some bookmarks, and I had wanted to have some with me today, and I don't. I'm sorry about that, but they're really beautiful little bookmarks that have different agaves going down. There's a Havard agave on there. And then down at the very bottom is the QR code. so that people can access that and go through the garden using the QR codes. And so they're excited about that, to be a part of it. We've had several people that have been interested since we got started. And so they've been watching the progression go along as we add more plants.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for taking the time and joining us today. And as I say, we look forward to the progress you make with you and your team. And yeah, thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. And we appreciate it. We feel like we're part of your family, the Hortis family. So
Yep.
thank you.
Okay.